Hello, this is Patrick. Welcome to Chart Built Wealth, Profitable Investing with Technical Analysis. Well, on my buy recommendations today, I wanted to just briefly go over what I was doing today. I wanted to get this out early afternoon, but got tied up. But I think the thought process is important, and tomorrow you may be able to act on some of these. So, with that, let's get into it. So Verizon was down again in the morning, down quite a bit. I was buying some on this downward move. And then, of course, by the end of the day, we have what's called a bullish hammer, where prices start out the day at uh, at the high of the day, and then intraday sell off a lot. And then you can see there's buyers underneath it at these levels because it ended up close to the high of the day, forming a bullish hammer. So, um, again, I was a buyer today. I was selling on some of these up days, and I was a buyer today. I buy on red, I sell on green. Let's go back to this. Again, this is a short-term chart, and it has a price projection of 50, and we're at 44, let's call it. But the bigger picture says that prices could go much higher. So good, really good upside, and this pullback's really giving you an opportunity and a 6.5% dividend. Okay, this is the iShares S&P GSCI Commodity Index. This is very heavily weighted towards energy, oil in particular. And as I explained, I am bullish on oil, but I don't have the perfect pattern on crude oil to go bullish with a good reward to risk scenario. But on this index, which is 70% energy, I do. So that's why I recommended it here on uh, on August 31st at 22.77. And it had a couple down days and a couple of big up days. Today, at one point this week, let's see. So this week, it was actually today, it was, I think it was up a little bit in the morning, and then it really sold off into the end of the day. And so what was I doing? I was buying on that dip. So when, you can see this wick that's up to about 23.25, I would have been a seller there. And then by the end of the day, I was buying at some of the lower prices. This is a pullback that I've kind of been waiting for to add to my position. So again, a good opportunity to buy. The price projection based on this pattern is 30, just about 31, which is about 35% upside. So, no people were kind of poo-pooing oil today and commodities, everything besides silver and gold and platinum. And what was I doing? I was buying something that was down. So it was down today. Platinum. What was I doing with platinum? Well, at one point today, at the top of this wick here, it was up close to 3%. Of course, I was selling a little bit. I'm still expecting a higher high than what we had here. We're getting close. So whenever it's up like this, what am I doing? I'm selling some. Look at the big volume starting to pick up here. So people are getting interested now that it's going up. They weren't interested down here, but they're interested now that it's going up. I'm going to be exiting this. I think the price projection based on the weekly chart that I shared is 144. So, but when we get over 134 here, the prior high, I will be selling more aggressively because 144 is a landing spot. It could be 140, it could be 147. I don't know, but I will be selling more uh, once it achieves a new high because that's all we're promised based on our pattern at this point that we have one more higher high. So I was a seller today. I was selling into that strength. I love selling when I'm making money and then I put that money right into the money market or I put it into GSG, the commodity index, which is down. So buying something on sale, selling something at a higher price. Antero Resources. So earlier today or yesterday, so on the call a couple of days ago when I purchased here on 825, this is a weekly chart. So each one of these candles are represent a week of price action. So when I bought on 825 at 30.73, I said, we're going to get a bearish rainbow convergence where all these moving averages come together. And we'll either have a pause or we'll have a retracement uh, back to that convergence. So we had some of that earlier in the week, and then today we had a down day. The week isn't over, so I'm still expecting maybe a little bit higher test on this bearish rainbow convergence, and if it can't break through, I'm going to be a seller of Antero Resources, and I would have made a good profit from 30.73 to let's hopefully get up to 34. We got to about 33.70 earlier in this week. And then, yes, I was selling on those up days. We get to 34 and it can't break through. I'm going to be out of it. And I'm going to go to a neutral rating because if it can't get through, it promises a lower low. If it, for some reason, breaks through this, I'm going to chase it. If I sell at 34 and all of a sudden it closes at 35 a day later or something, I'm going to chase it. I'm going to reestablish my position. And that's what happened here this is a good example on consumer staples, the ETF that I went neutral on yesterday. And so we had a test of the bearish rainbow convergence and it couldn't break through. And so I went neutral, and on the call that I posted, I said, this promises a new lower low. And so I'm going to neutral. And today we got a new lower low intraday, and then it closed up uh, higher. So um, what I actually bought some today, but it was a very little amount, and I'm not going to go back to bearish and bullish until it breaks above the confluence of moving averages. So we did get what I thought, a new lower low. Does that mean we start this uptrend and we break through this resistance? Well, because I don't want to be doing an update every day on that, I'm going to wait and see what happens with this resistance area. My guess is we'll break through it, but who knows? I'll let the market tell me. I'm not that smart. Thank you for watching Chart Built Wealth, profitable investing with technical analysis. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends, neighbors, family. Have a great day. Adios.